Welcome to the Hypothalamic Amenorrhea podcast. I'm Danny Sheriff, your host, certified fertility awareness practitioner, functional nutrition counselor, and founder of the HA Society, and of course, an HA recovery coach who has walked where you currently are walking. This is the place to come if you care about getting your period regularly. This podcast aims to educate, inform, and keep you motivated on your period and HA recovery track. So let's dive in. But last thing, nothing on the show should be taken as medical advice, so please seek the advice of your physician.
Hey guys, has it ever crossed your mind, right, through this journey where you're just rediscovering food and your body and all of these like belief shattering things are coming at you in every direction, has it ever occurred to you, I think that this is a problem that needs my help?
Yeah. Or if you're just like, why is nobody talking about this?
Yeah.
And why are we like only expecting OBGYNs or endocrinologists? Like, this is actually basic information impacting people's life. Guys,
I know.
do you ever have that moment?
Because if you have, maybe at some point, regardless of where you're at in your journey, you've thought like, maybe I want to help women with this problem too. And I think that's so common because this is such an emotional journey that when you go through something like this, it's so normal to feel like, I think that I could dedicate a portion of my life to making change in this area.
Yeah. Or even I think in my previous job, I would have loved to have this information because it just was not available in the scope that I was in. Like, the bubble that I was in, it just wasn't being talked about. It wasn't being talked about in depth. And so I just feel like there's so many women who are helping women, and this is actually connected. So I feel like I would have taken this course 1000% in my old job.
Okay. So what course are we talking about? Y'all, we're talking about a certification that we've created, because that's the thing, like Ashley was saying, there's no information about this, and people in the healthcare world, people who are personal trainers, wellness coaches, and people who just realize that like this is an issue that needs more coaches, more specialized practitioners in. If you're one of those people, we made the certification for you. It's called the Holistic HA Practitioner Certification.
Yes. I think we don't have to tell you guys this because this is your life. Like, this, but think of how many different symptoms you have and you've gone to somebody for it and nowhere where they're like, oh, this is possibly connected to the root cause, and that's HA. And so instead, we spend so much time and energy addressing these symptoms when they're connected. I just think it's just wild. I just think it's wild. I think it's one of those things where it's like, everyone should take this because you're going to come across somebody who potentially has this. And it's just, I don't think that we even have the numbers of how prevalent this is.
No, we don't have the numbers, but you can look around, right? So everyone who has HA now like looks around and says, oh, I think that it might be happening with that person. If you're anything like me, you've straight up asked people.
Right. Or think about like runners, they're like this is just common in the running community. So what you're saying is that HA is common in the running community. You know what I mean? Like, what if a coach, a track coach, a running coach was like, is this common in my community? Like, this would be important information to have.
So we created the certifications for all of these people in mind so that we can talk about and help people help others with recovery from a practitioner, a diagnostic, and protocol point of view. So we've created it's about a 30-week program, and we poured our absolute hearts and souls into it.
Absolutely.
It will cover everything from, what HA is, of course, to give that important foundational information, but we are providing you with a coaching certification, meaning we are teaching you how to work with women with HA to recover their periods from every aspect of nutrition, stress, exercise, and any other factor that we've ever come across. We are putting in this certification.
Yeah, and like we're also teaching the science behind it, right? Because it's important that we understand why certain things are being recommended, even if it goes against what has potentially been prescribed as like weight loss solves everything, right? Like, but is there science to prove that weight loss doesn't solve everything? Yes. And we've collected it all in one place for you. Plus we have a lot of we interwove all of this in there of how to address mindset changes, right? That is not just enough to know the information, is how do you guide someone in making this change, right?
Yeah, I think when we get people ask us for advice, like, because people say, I think I want to become a recovery coach. And we're like, hell yeah. And they'll ask, but how do you actually make people change? Like, how do you actually get them to implement the advice I'm taking? Because like, you can know this information till the cows come home, right? Think about your own journey. You knew this information, but why was it so hard to make change? And so that is what we're teaching.
Yes. And also like all the different things that are related to HA that you may have not known. And so hopefully this saves your client tons of money, because they're not visiting every physician under the sun for all these different, many different symptoms. Yeah, we're excited, guys.
We are excited. So if becoming a recovery coach or adding this to your scope of practice, whether you're a personal trainer, a nurse, a doctor of some kind, like this information is probably missing from your tool belt. And if you are someone who wants a career change or is interested in becoming a recovery coach, really truthfully, it's something that probably needs to blow up in the space. Like it's probably, just like health coaches did, just like life coaches did. Like, I think we need period coaches. We need more people out here on the front lines, like helping these women and making this issue more mainstream. We've seen that it has been a way to build a healthy practice. So there is no shortage of this issue, which means we need other women out here with this information. So if it's something that you've thought about, it's probably worth considering.
Absolutely. I think it's one of those things that we're having to re-educate an entire, I don't know, our generation, the generation before us. You know what I mean? Like this is massive re-education and introduction to body literacy, the menstrual cycle, what's normal, what's not normal, you know what I mean? Like what's just all the things. It's like, hey, if like we want this to be a normal thing that we talk about, then like there has to be people that are willing to just kind of like guide people through it.
Yeah. That's all we're asking. So check it out, guys. Go to the website. You can download the syllabus where we've given an outline of everything that we're going to cover. So you can kind of dive deeper into what we're doing, learn more about the program, how it's conducted. That's at the hasociety.com/certification. You can also book a discovery call and have a call with us and talk about whether or not it's right for you. So thanks for listening, guys, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Hello and welcome to the second edition of my Q&A mashup. I hope you guys have been enjoying these. If you tuned into last week's episode, we're going to take another bunch of questions that were asked on my YouTube channel over the Vlogmas period. And yeah, enjoy. It's actually from Chelsea. And she said, I just listened to your pod about ovulation and HA. I was curious if you could could do a podcast like this where you talk about increasing progesterone. And so I chose this one because I have had this question a bunch of times. I feel like anytime someone finally ovulates, or maybe they're waiting to get pregnant, they worry that they're not going to be able to, there's not going to be enough progesterone, the pregnancy's not going to stick, or their luteal phase is going to be too short. And then they kind of ask, what can I do right now to improve it? And then also just in general, the vast majority of people's very first cycle is the parameters are just not going to be perfect, right? So we're always wondering, well, what can I do to increase progesterone, to improve luteal phases, or improve my chances of pregnancy, depending on your goal. And my answer is actually going to be, just go back and watch, any other video about improving anything else, getting your cycle back, improving your chances of ovulation. Because think about this, the corpus luteum, which is what is created in the luteal phase and is what disintegrates if you're not pregnant and you bleed, or it's what turns into the egg that implants and becomes a baby. That thing starts in the ovary. It starts as the follicle. It is essentially parts of the egg. So the egg and the corpus luteum are one and the same, meaning they're originating from the same place. So in general, the health of the egg is what's going to carry you through all parameters of the cycle. So worrying about, just estrogen or just progesterone in a vacuum is less helpful than just zooming out and doing everything you can to optimize all areas of your cycle. And the good news is, for the most part, they are the exact same thing. Like de-stressing, making sure you're fueled, making sure you're not over-exercising, making sure you're not hyped up on stimulants that are causing cortisol to rise a whole bunch. All of those fundamentals, they're going to carry you through to optimizing your follicular phase, and they're going to carry you through to optimizing your luteal phase and improving ovulation quality and improving egg quality and implantation. So I hope that helps, that all of those things are going to be helpful to you. So Chelsea, my bad, and I emailed back and forth one time. I asked for some clarity. And she said that you had mentioned that you have other episodes where you talk about ways to increase it. I've cut out all exercise and increased my calories. I'm just not seeing the signs of ovulation, and I think it's because I have low progesterone. Oh, okay, I only just read that. So again, you're on the right track, right? You're doing the things you need to do to improve ovulation, and it's not, I strongly believe it's not just because, you need to go focus on progesterone, because I just don't think there's really such thing as one action you can take to resolve progesterone alone in a vacuum. So obviously, Chelsea, I don't know everything about your entire story. I don't know your history. I don't know anything about it. So I can't really say, but and you're not asking me. You're just like, tell me what to do about low progesterone. So I'm just going to tell you this. You're on track, but you need to do more probably. Just consider how long you've been trying these things. How long have you actually cut out exercise? How long have you actually increased calories? And make sure it's a reasonable time frame, because I can't tell you how many times I've been like, how long have you made those changes? And people have been like, only a month or 2 months. And it's like, well, just give it a bit more time. But perhaps, like in my episode I posted yesterday, perhaps there's a ceiling, right, that you don't want to cross, and you want to find other ways besides doing the scary thing to increase progesterone. So I hope that this helped. I hope that this made sense.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that one. This next question is all about weight gain. Do I have to go back to my old weight? How much weight am I gonna have to gain? So get ready.
Hi, I have a question that keeps popping up in my head. Do I need to go back to my biggest weight? I always was overweight as a child. I weighed on my heaviest 80 kilos at 171 centimeters when I was 18 years old. I went down to 55 kilos for 2 years and then went back up. Now I'm 65 kilos and 28 years old, but still no period. I lost it now 9 years. I read the book, No Period Now What, but I didn't find an answer. Do I need to go back to 80 kilos? Is that my set point weight? I don't think I can do that. I have a problem with gaining weight, but 80 kilos, that's just obesity. Yeah, okay. There's so much here. 80 kilos is not just obesity, but it's likely that the way you've gone about weight loss in the past has been too fast, has been too vigorous, has been too intense, and that's probably part of the issue. So I'm going to recommend that you consider just your approach to weight loss as part of why you've only been able to cycle at 80 kilos. Sorry, I just keep staring at the question and not staring at the camera. My bad. But
the HA Society is taking clients. Coach Ashley and I work one-on-one with HAers, as we call you, to help you figure out a plan and, of course, implement it and stay accountable. Whether you've worked with a health practitioner already and you just want to stay accountable and strategic with the plan that they've laid out for you, or you want to start from scratch looking at all the aspects of your recovery needs and to create a game plan to reach those needs, then we are definitely your girls. When you sign up to work one-on-one with one of us, we're going to go over your history, your biggest obstacles, ensure that we're taking into account your specific goals, and start making a plan to reach them. So those goals could be getting your period back, could be getting pregnant, could be getting back to exercise or sport, or simply working on your mindset around your body image and long-term recovery. We also can teach you the fertility awareness method. So if you want to learn that so that you have the skills you need to go out into the world on your own without fear of getting HA again, we have got your back. So our coaching packages are either weekly or bi-weekly and only a month at a time commitment. So you're not paying tons and tons of money for 5-6 months. It's month to month, which is awesome. Makes perfect sense for period recovery, right? So to learn about other women's experiences working with us and to apply for a coaching spot, plus ask any questions that you might have before getting started, just go to thehasociety.com/coaching.
I think that there's a lot of issues here around weight for you, just because, do I need to go back to my biggest weight? I was overweight as a child. I'm afraid to gain weight. 80 kilos is obesity. Like, this is extremely weight focused. And I can tell you're very interested in getting your cycle back because your entire Instagram handle is HA_recovery. I don't have a solid answer for you. I don't know anything really more about you. But the likelihood is, if you are 65 kilos right now and you were once 80, maybe gaining a few kilos up to 70 or 75 is going to be reasonable for you. I've definitely been as high as like 78 kilos at 163 centimeters, I think, 5'4", and I was not obese. So that's a total story. Are you lean? No. Are you like a size 12 or 14 in some things? Sure. Like a large? Sure. Are you obese? Absolutely not. So that's a story, that's a fear. That's probably the problem. And holding back and restricting food is not going to bring our period back. It's what lost the period. So you probably do need to continue to gain some kind of weight, and whatever you're doing to stop yourself from getting to 80 kilos is probably the problem. I think it's unlikely that you have to be at 80 kilos to get your cycle back, but depending on the other factors of your life, including your genetics, but your stress levels, your busyness, how much you're exercising, your past metabolic health, your current metabolic health, those things are going to dictate that. The best thing for you to do right now is let your body take the wheel and stop trying to control it, and just let whatever happens happen. Stop holding on to this number. I think one of the reasons you didn't find the answer to, do I need to weigh 80 kilos? The reason you didn't find that is because it's not, like, it's just not how it works, Certainly there is some statistics of, like, certain people got their period back at X body weight, but I find that all to be really unhelpful. I think it causes people to focus on a number that's actually probably not accurate for them, right? It's only accurate for a part of the population. And I think when we focus on a number, right, like you have in your head a number, you have a bunch of numbers in your head. When I was 18, at this height, I weighed this, and then when I was at this age, at this weight, this happened, and it's like there's too many metrics going on. I think like you're analyzing it super hard, and we need to step back, okay? If you find yourself analyzing it, which is super common, right? Now me compared to this person, I should be at this point, and this girl over here, she's similar to me in this way, and she runs this, and so I should be at this point with this weight, and on this timeline. Stop. This is control. This is not helping you. This needs to stop. Okay? I think at its core, that's it for you, madam. Just because I don't know your name, HA_recovery. You need to let go of this this control piece, and you need to let your body do what it's going to do, and deal with that fear.
Okay, so this question was an interesting one, and you're about to hear it, but it's basically about like, can you get pregnant with HA? Can you get pregnant without having ovulated or having your period, or so we're just going to go over like the basics here about how or what it means when someone without a period gets pregnant. We're just going to go over that question, what that means, and just kind of like get straight on physiology to help you figure out your next step if you're trying to get pregnant. Okay, Danielle P asks, I've had HA ever since my son was born 4 years ago. Disordered eating and postpartum anxiety have kept it missing. However, I'm desperate to get pregnant again. I've spoken with a few women who have managed to conceive without having any periods. I was just wondering how common this is, and if you rarely see it, or if it's more common than people realize. I know I'm grasping at straws, but I've been trying to get my period back for so long that I'm feeling a bit hopeless, and I've got the baby hue badly. Oh wow, interesting question, Danny. Okay, so absolutely 100% it is untrue that those people got their period back without ovulating. What's happened, those people, what they're telling you is that either they got pregnant on their very first recovery cycle, either postpartum or having had HA, okay? So we know people who have gone down the path of getting their cycle back for whatever reason, and then they have sex at the right time of their very first ovulation, and so they never get their period. Does that make sense? So the egg finally starts producing, they ovulate, they had sex at that time of ovulation, and then they got pregnant, and so they never saw a period. But those people ovulated. This is why I talk so much more about ovulation than bleeding. So much more than ovulation and bleeding, because that's actually the mechanism here at play. So it's not possible for you to have HA and get pregnant. However, it is possible for you to recover, to be on the process of recovery and get pregnant on your very first ovulation. So I hope that makes sense. Good luck. Keep going. There's a missing piece for you. So you got this. You can absolutely figure this out. Okay, great. Well, that was fun. That was an easy one. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for listening today, guys. Please subscribe to the podcast, and if you could head to iTunes specifically and leave a rating or review, that would help so much, because it makes it easier for other people with HA who are Googling around to find the podcast really easily. So if you do that, you're doing a service to all of the women.
92% of households that start the year with Peloton are still active a year later.
92% because of a bike?
Not just bikes. We also make treadmills and rowers.
Oh, let me guess, for elite athletes only, right?
Nope. It doesn't matter if you're an avid exerciser or new to working out. Peloton can help you achieve your fitness goals. 92% stick with it. So can you. Try Peloton bikes, tread or row risk-free with a 30-day home trial. New members only. Not available in remote locations. See additional terms at onepeloton.com/home-trial.